Today on the bench, I want to tie you up the Italian spider fly. It's one of our best overall dry fly patterns, so make sure you have these materials ready before you tie the fly. We'll use a size 12 Tiemco 205 BL hook to tie on, some 6/0 black thread, some pink or red mono as the butt, some golden olive pheasant tail for the body, some gray dun neck hackle for the hackles, some green Krystal flash for the underwing, and some short fine natural deer hair for the wing. To start the fly off, I've taken my pink thread and I'm gonna go right to the rear of the hook and just tie in a small butt on the fly. And it's more of an attractor than anything. Now the butt's tied in, I've taken my black thread and I'm going to tie it on to start the fly. And again, make sure you form a good base on this hook. Now that we have our thread tied on, I'm going to take a hackle and I'm going to tie it in right in front of the butt and just tie it in by the butt end. And we're going to hold this off the back until after we tie in our body. Now that we have the hackle tied in, waiting to be palmered up the body after, I've taken about 4 or 5 of my pheasant tail fibers. And I'm going to tie these in again right in the rear of the hook. And I'm just going to tie them in again by the tips. I just want to tie these in by the tips. Secure them down, and then I'm going to wrap them forward right to the eyelet to form the body. Now that we have the body tied in, we're going to take some hackle pliers, hook it onto our hackle, and start winding the hackle forward to hackle the body. And I usually take about 7 to 10 wraps up the body. Now that we've brought our hackle forward to palmer the body, I'm going to take 2 strands of my Krystal flash, and this is my green Krystal flash. I'm going to double it over on the thread, and I'm going to form a small underwing. So just bring these back right on top of the fly, and then I'm just going to cut them about the length of the hook. Once I have the green Krystal flash underwing tied in, I've taken a stacked chunk of my deer hair, and it's a pretty good allotment of deer hair. I want this to be a fairly full wing. I'm going to measure back right to the end of the butt so you can see where the butt is, and I want those tips to be about equal with the butt. And just take a couple of easy wraps, loose wraps, and then tighten up a little bit. And just to tie in that wing. Now that I've taken a few wraps to tighten up my wing, I'm going to bring my thread to in front of essentially the head of the fly, and wrap around near the eyelet and whip finish there, and then we're going to trim the head on the fly just to form a small head on it. Now that I've whip finish off the fly, I'm going to pull all this deer hair forward, just the very head of it, and just trim it to form a small head on the fly. Just trim off some of your excess deer hair. And then you have a real nice little head on the fly that's all trimmed up. So there it is, the finished Italian spider fly. If you want a pattern that sits really high in the water and is super easy to see, this is the pattern you want to use. To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one showing, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.